Hello everyone, welcome to Veranda IAS. In this series of Indian Polity Foundation course, the new topic, the next lecture is of Preamble to Indian Constitution. We are going to discuss about the Preamble to Indian Constitution. Very first thing, what is Preamble? Like we go to market, we purchase appliances, we purchase anything, we get a manual along with it. What does that manual has? The details, how to handle it and what all is there inside the box. Similarly, we have Preamble to Indian Constitution that acts as manual to the large, lengthiest and the bulkiest book. The Preamble is the very first page of Indian Constitution and it has the essence of Indian Constitution. What is there in Indian Constitution? What all are the features? Why do we need Constitution? What are its goals? That all is the main ingredient of Preamble. So we are going to discuss about the Preamble and demonstrate the Preamble of Indian Constitution. Along with that, we will be discussing the features of the Preamble. So let us begin. Preamble is taken from Latin word preambulus. The word preamble is taken from Latin word preambulus. That means an introduction. So the name only suggests us that what is the work of Preamble. It is an introduction to the book. Secondly, the one important fact which you all should know, who drafted the Preamble? It was 13th of December in 1946 when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru presented the Objectives Resolution. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru presented the Objectives Resolution to Indian Constituent Assembly on 13th of December 1946. It was the time when our constitution makers were drafting the constitution. The Objective Resolution has the essence that what all should be there in constitution, and this very document we adopted as Preamble on 22nd of Jan in 1947. The Objective Resolutions was adopted as Preamble on 22nd of Jan in 1947. We'll see the definition. Preamble is the introduction or the preface to the Constitution. We have a preface to a book. Preamble is preface to Constitution. It is the brief introductory statement that sets out the guiding purpose and the principles of Indian Constitution. It is a brief introductory statement. Remember these words? These words you have to use while you are writing answers for mains. These are very important words. Each and every word will be there in your mains answer writing and will fetch you marks. It is a brief introductory statement that sets out the guiding purpose and the principles of Indian Constitution. It contains the summary or the essence of Constitution. We'll read the text of the Preamble. What is there in Preamble? The one page, the very first page. It starts with, "We the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, that is social, economic, political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation." In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. So basically this is the text. What is in Preamble? These bold words are the ingredients of Preamble. We'll discuss how. There are 4 ingredients of the Preamble. Number 1 is the source of the authority. Source of the authority. What is the source? From where are we deriving the power? We are deriving the power from we the people of India. The very first thing from where the preamble starts is we the people of India. So who is giving authority to the government to rule on us? With this constitution, we only, we the citizens, the people of India. We are above all, okay? It is not the government who is ruling us, but it is the constitution which is ruling us. And who has made that constitution? We only. Second is the nature of Indian state. What does it mean? Sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic and republic. The objectives of Indian constitution: liberty, equality, fraternity. And the date of adoption of Indian constitution, that is 26th November 1949. Okay, these four are the ingredients of the preamble. Before moving ahead, we'll discuss in detail about the nature of Indian state. We'll discuss each word one by one. The very first is sovereign. Sovereign. What does it mean? Sovereign means India is a sovereign nation, supreme nation. It means no foreign power is allowed to interfere in the affairs of India. It is India only who takes care of its foreign policy, its foreign relations and its internal policies as well. Like tomorrow, the geopolitical equation is changing. If China or America is trying to interfere in our policy, we are not at all going to allow this. Why this was important? This was important because when we got independence in 1947, we were a colony of Britishers for last 100 to 200 years. And in last 200 years, what we saw, they were dominating us, they were interfering in every affair of ours. Even that was the time when colonies were getting freedom, but still Britishers were trying to influence their international affairs. So to avoid that, India deliberately included this in the constitution that we are a sovereign nation. We are not at all going to allow any interference in our internal affairs as well as external affairs. Next is socialist. When we talk about socialism, the thing which comes to our mind is communism. So what is communism? Communist approach. Basically, it means that all the sources of production are with government. But here in India, it is not so. This socialist philosophy of India is guided by philosophy of Mahatma Gandhi and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was influenced by USSR, erstwhile USSR. When India got freedom, today's Russia was that time erstwhile USSR. So Pandit Nehru and Mahatma Gandhi were influenced by the philosophy, and the socialist philosophy states that India aims at building a welfare state in bringing welfare to all and every sections of people. So this is what socialism in Indian constitution means. Next is secular. What does word secular means? Sovereign, socialist, secular. Secular means India is paying equal respect to all religions. Equal respect for all religions. That is why we find that despite a large diversity in Indian population with respect to religion, we all are living happily, right? So that is why secular word was included there, because Indian constitution was not like ki all Hindus were there or all Muslims were there, but Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, Jainism, all the religion people of religious faiths live happily in India because of Indian constitution that adopted a positive form of secularism, unlike the negative form of secularism which is prevalent in West, where there is no relation between the religion and the state. Then next is democratic. What does the word democratic means? Democratic means demo plus cracy, that is rule of people. Democracy means rule of the people. We the people of India choose our representatives. It is the rule of the people. So in a democratic country, we have elections where we cast vote and choose our representatives. Last but not the least, republic. Republic. It means that the head of the state in India is elected or nominated. but not hierarchical position. Head of the state is nominated or elected but not hereditary in nature. Let me explain this to you. In Britain, we have head of the state, the queen, that is from royal family, and she is like the hereditary position it is. The royal families people only take this position. But in India, we have elections of the president, although the elections are indirect one. So India is a republic in a nature that head of the state is not hereditary. We will move ahead. We'll see further. Preamble is non-justiciable in nature. Keep this in your mind. It is non-justiciable in nature. Before we move ahead, I have 3 questions for you. First of all, please think on this. Is preamble a part of Indian Constitution? Second, is preamble justiciable in nature? And is preamble amendable? So we talk about preamble is a part of Indian Constitution or not. We have 2 cases to discuss. First is Ray Berubari Union case. Ray Berubari Union case of 1960. That states in which the Supreme Court of India said that preamble is not part of Constitution. Preamble is not a part of Constitution. What does it mean? If preamble is not a part of Constitution, we cannot amend it. Therefore, no amendment. Then again, after some years, Supreme Court of India, it was in 1960. In 1973, the very famous case of Kesavanand Bharati. Kesavanand Bharati case, where Kesavanand Bharati, who was a saint from Kerala, he challenged Supreme Court of India, Union of India, and the Supreme Court of India gave a verdict, 1973 it was. Supreme Court of India gave a verdict that preamble is a part of Constitution, revisited its earlier decision and stated that preamble is a part of Constitution and therefore it can be amended. Now, can we completely amend the preamble? No. Why? Because this only case, Kesavanand Bharati 1973, gave us a very famous doctrine, basic structure doctrine. Basic structure doctrine. What is there in this basic structure doctrine? Basic structure doctrine has a list of all those features which one can never amend in Indian Constitution. For example, I gave you a piece of cloth. I asked you to make anything possible out of it. So I asked you to make anything. You can make a t-shirt, a jeans, a mask, but not tear it out and like waste it. Okay, what I want to explain is you are not allowed to dilute the importance, like dilute that piece of cloth, destruct that piece of cloth. Similarly is with Indian Constitution. Indian Constitution may we can make changes, we can amend it, but we are not allowed to play with the essence of Indian Constitution for what it stands, like sovereignty, socialism, secularism, democratic nation, parliamentary form of government. We cannot make changes to all these things. We are not allowed. So there is a list in basic structure doctrine of all the features which one government can never amend in Indian Constitution. So what is the conclusion? We can amend the Preamble of India. Preamble of India is a part of Indian Constitution, but with respect to basic structure doctrine. We can amend it to an extent. We are not hampering, we are not diluting the main essence of Indian Constitution. Please note it down. Note down these cases. These cases are very important for you to remember. We will move ahead. All the 3 questions I have answered for you. Preamble is a part of Constitution. We can amend the preamble, but with respect to basic structure doctrine, and preamble is non-justiciable in nature. Non-justiciable in nature means कि one cannot go to challenge preamble, any law, if it is not in concurrence with preamble, in any court of law. It cannot be challenged in a court. It is neither a source of power to the legislature nor a prohibition upon the powers of the legislature. The preamble can be amended under Article 368 of the Constitution. Very important. Next, by the 42nd Amendment Act of 1976, which was enacted during the emergency, the words socialist, secular were added to the preamble. So, did we ever amend the preamble? Yes, once only. It was the time of Mrs. Indira Gandhi. It was the time of emergency when preamble was amended and the words socialist, secular and integrity, also integrity, were added to the preamble. This Amendment Act is also very important, 42nd Amendment Act. This is also known as mini constitution. A lot of changes were done to Indian constitution and that is why this act is known as mini constitution. This amendment was done on the recommendations of Sardar Swarn Singh Committee. Sardar Swarn Singh Committee. A committee was formulated by Government of India under the chairmanship of Sardar Swarn Singh. Okay, so this was all for preamble. This was all which you wanted to know, which you should know about the preamble, what all are the ingredients of the preamble, the text of the preamble, the amendability, justiciability, and is preamble a part of Indian Constitution or not. We will continue from here in our next lecture. Till then, stay tuned, keep studying. Thank you so much.